Congrats to Casey and his group. I thought, obviously they're a really good offensive team year in and year out. They had a tough loss the other night. Their only loss of the season to Richmond, and so we kind of knew that there would be a hungry group coming in here. Um, we just didn't shoot the ball particularly well. Obviously, an understatement. We go 8 for 38, 5 for 19 in the first half, 3 for 19 in the second half from behind the arc. And when that's the case, you've got to get darn near everything right defensively. You've got to get almost every rebound. And we didn't do that. We didn't come up with enough 50-50 balls. The first half, we forced 7 turnovers. In the second half, we forced 1. And that was the 10-second violation with about 2 minutes to go. So when you're not shooting it well, you've got to find other ways to generate points, getting turnovers, getting out playing in transition, getting second chance points with offensive rebounds. And that's easy to say. It's hard to do it against a team like them. And, we just obviously did not have a good night. And I hate that. Obviously, this is, one of those games that, a lot of folks in the area look forward to. And so do we. We're close friends with a lot of those guys on that staff. And our players know theirs. And, it's kind of like when you're growing up, and the people you want to beat the most is your brother, your sister, or the neighbor that you're the closest to. They came in here and played well and got the win. Questions?
Talk about the duality of style. UAB, 40 points in the paint tonight. I know Belmont gives up a lot of threes, but 38 is well off the 20 per game pace you were on the last 5 or 6 games.
Well, it's a great question. We were talking over the last couple of days, and the 3 outside league of opponents of UAB, Murray, and Belmont, and how we've only swept those. Middle Tennessee basketball's only swept those 3 teams in a single season once ever. And the reason is because they're all usually good. We're usually good. Those 3 are usually good. So when you're playing all 3 of them, and they all 3 generally play a very different style from each other. UAB is going to drive it, go get it off the rim when they miss twos. Murray is playing like this right here a lot, and then you play somebody like Belmont, who it's all about sharing the ball and backdoor cuts, making threes. So in order to beat all 3 in a single season, which we came into tonight having a chance of doing, you've got to be able to defend 3 very different ways. But in 2025, you've also got to be able to score the ball. There's just not too many teams winning games 68-59 because across the country, almost everybody's playing a fast, up-tempo style of play, and kids grow up shooting the ball. Usually if you were tall, when you were growing up, your coach said, get your butt in the paint and turn, we're going to play with your back to the basketball. Now everybody grows up shooting the ball, even the bigs. And so when you're playing teams that are averaging 85, 86, 87 points a game, it's not really realistic to think you could score 68 and hold a team 30 points below their average and win.
In those stretches where Belmont was able to stretch that lead, have you identified a go-to player, or is the value in the fact that you have so many weapons?
Yes, is the answer to both. Obviously, anytime that Torrey's out there, because of his length and athleticism, it can present challenges whether or not he's got the ball or not with the action that you're running. But yes is the answer to we feel like one of our team's strengths is the balance that we play with, how unselfish we are with the ball, and we're not so one-dimensional. That's really the way Belmont prides themselves too. Very balanced, but they also have got a guy that Lundblade made the toughest shot I thought anybody took of the night. He comes off a pin down that we defended quite well, and he just bangs one in. When that happens, that just lets you know how good you've got to be at the other stuff. If he's going to make one that hard, then you can't give anything up that's easy.
Torrey, a defense like Belmont that just makes it difficult to get in those one-on-one situations down the paint, how do you value those possessions?
I would say it's what Coach said. Like, we just have to share the ball. There were times where we did over dribble it, and yes, Belmont is a great gap team. Like, they were in the gaps probably better than any team that we played, and we just over dribbled the ball a little bit. There could have been times where we could have took one dribble and got off the ball, and then got an easier shot, except we was dribbling the ball. And then once we passed it, Belmont's already recovered, and it was a tough shot.
What do you learn about yourself as well as your team in ball games like this?
That we're not going to quit. I mean, Belmont kept stretching the lead, and I mean, guys just kept playing hard. I mean, no matter what. Coach told us not to quit, and I mean, that's just what we're not going to do.
Trey, in games where that offense just kind of goes stale, what needs to happen to kind of keep that ball moving?
We really just got to get stops on the defensive end. Defense breeds offense, and I feel like they got a lot of points in the paint, and it was hard to really get our offense going because of that. But we just got to just keep shooting. Good shooters shoot. We have good offense. Just keep running. Just keep going on pace.
Coach, you do have 10 days until your next when you open up conference play against Kennesaw State here. What's kind of the mindset for you guys as you just go back to the drawing board to figure out what's next?
Just keep getting better. I told our team, like, you walk in the locker room and they're all in the film room. As soon as you walk in, it's quiet. Nobody's talking. They're disappointed, and it's because they care. You worry if you walk in there and you guys are laughing and giggling and act like nothing happened. So their care factor is there. So it's not so much going to the drawing board. And I told our team this, like, I'm disappointed in the loss, but not in them. Again, there's talent in the room. There's care factor in the room. Good teams are going to have bad nights. You look at what Michigan has done to some teams. They beat Gonzaga by 40. But that's not who they are. They're a top 10 team in the country, being Gonzaga. Michigan does it to Auburn. Well, Auburn's a good ball club, and he gets pasted by 30 recently. And so, we feel I like where this group is headed. I don't like what happened tonight, but we just got to keep getting better. We don't struggle to pull effort or attitudes out of guys to practice. We're in finals week. We'll be off. These guys got some stake to turn in, and that's the part about being tough. Like you took one at home to team up the road. You can duck your head, and now all of a sudden you got academic trouble because of this. You got to keep your head up and do what you're supposed to do. Study tonight, be off tomorrow, turn in some work, and we'll practice on Tuesday.
Coach, can you talk about the importance of these out-of-conference games against other pretty solid mid-majors and how that can prepare you for March?
Yeah, you find a lot out about yourself. I don't know where we are now, but I know our strength of schedule's gone anywhere from about 17th to the upper 20s in the country. You're talking about 360-some teams, and you're playing one of the hardest non-conference schedules out of anybody. And so things like this can happen. You can play a lesser opponent and play like that and give yourself a chance to win. But teams like this expose any of your weaknesses. And so it helps you get to go back to the drawing board, as you said, and get better. It is difficult. It is difficult. It's like having a hard test after hard test after hard test in the classroom. There's not the kind of the gimme quiz to boost your grade a little bit, or the class attendance to boost your grade a little bit. All you're getting are hard exams. And that's what we got coming up with Kennesaw is another hard exam. Then we play Cumberland, and then it's down to Houston. And so it's a hard league, but so is our non-conference schedule.
And Tori, we saw you try to go into the lane with some aggression, try to throw down that slam. Can you just talk about, one, that moment you kind of seeing red for a little bit there, but also just how that aggression helps your game in the paint?
I try to attack the paint. With a lot of aggression, regardless. Obviously, I'm not the best shooter, and one of my strengths is finishing. So, I just try to attack hard. I felt like I felt like I had a good chance of making that. Obviously I didn't, but I would try that 10 times out of 10.
I know with conference up in the middle of December, and you still have a few non-conference games left, do you feel like you've accomplished what you want to accomplish at this point in the season?
That's a great question. Yes, I like where we are right now. We talked to the team before, like December's for learning what you didn't do well in November. And when you've played a schedule like we had in November, you can get to learning some things about your team and work on them. Given where we are right now, yeah, I do like where our team is. Would I like for us to have won that game? Sure. If we beat McNeese there when we had a halftime lead, we come home with the trophy. because now we're 2-1. McNeese is 2-1. You win the head-to-head, so they're taking pictures on the beach after that tournament with the trophy, and it puts a little fire in your guys when you're packing up to go home, and so are they. But they're out there taking celebratory pictures. It's good for your team. It's hard, but it's good for you. So yeah, I do like where we're headed because we're starting to build some depth. Luca's coming around. Hopefully we'll get JD back soon. He's out with an injury, so it'll be nice to hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks get some guys a little healthier. But all in all, I do like where this team's going. Thank you. Appreciate it.